Here's Chris, the owner of the farm, and she has a great blog. Chris, say hello to the audience.
Well, hi. Hope you all are able to come and see the place in person. It's just the beginning of mango season, and we have tons of mango varieties that are yet to ripen, and they're all fun. So come on down and check our blog, delraymango.blogspot.com, to see what our hours are and what varieties we have ripe.
And I've been living down here in Florida for over 10 years, and I've never heard of you until recently. A friend told me about you, and pretty much most of your business is word of mouth, right?
Yes, we have quite a range of customers, from just every walk of life. A lot of people from other countries that have grown up with wonderful mangoes and know that the ones that they're buying or that they sell in the supermarket are really not representative of the mango, and so they'll come from long distances. We've had people come. We have a couple of customers in Orlando that make a few trips a season, and we had one gentleman from Arizona that flies in for mangoes. I think it wasn't once or twice last year. I don't know.
It was 3 or 4 times.
Oh, 3 or 4 times.
Tell us your name again.
Har Madin.
Har Madin. So can you tell us about some of these different varieties of all these wonderful mangoes you have available?
This is Cogg's Hall. The fruit, besides being beautiful, are fiber-free and sweet and tart. Very good flavor. The tree is smallish and an extra good-looking tree compared to most other mango trees. The foliage is dark and the canopy is dense, and as I say, the tree is easy to keep small. It's super productive and very early to early.
And is the skin edible on that?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
The Dwarf Hawaiian, also very early and mid-season and late because it produces multiple crops per year. As you can see, it does have problems with anthracnose, but that's about the only knock against it. The flavor is excellent. I like the edible skins on it, and the fact that the tree is small, dwarfish, and is usually flowering when it has fruit on, and then does 2 or 3 more crops in a season, is very impressive. Florigon is super early, very early to early, and is usually completely clean, disease-free, super productive, no fiber. The flavor is distinctive. You may like it or may not. It's a very different flavor from most of the other mangoes. I do like it.
What are those?
These, I believe, are Pimsane Moon. We have a tree here labeled Quidno also that's very similar, and I have a hard time telling the two apart. Both have fiber-free, excellent flavored flesh. The fruit are usually quite clean and pretty, occasionally a few spots on it, so it's not totally immune to anthracnose, but most of the fruit are clean. The tree is super productive and early. And when they fall on the ground, they usually do not bruise. Glen, an old variety here from Florida. The tree has a similar appearance to the Cogg's Hall, the dark, attractive foliage and dense canopy. It's not quite as early as Cogg's Hall most years, but it is an early variety. Fiber-free and usually a good rich flavor.
And some people eat the skin of those.
So I hear. I haven't chosen that as one of the ones that I consider to be a tasty skin, but yeah, it's not awfully bitter like some. Sometimes the early fruit, the earliest ones in the season are low in flavor, but by this time of the year they are rich flavored. The Nam Dok Mai, a real old time variety from Thailand. Nam means water, and Dok Mai means flower. So it means nectar, sweet as nectar, water of flower. It's fiber-free, a very long flat seed case, but with a very tiny seed in it. So the seed and the seed husk don't take up much room. Very good distinctive flavor, usually clean, occasionally a little bit of anthracnose. These also tend not to bruise very badly when they fall unless you let the tree get really big. They are a medium-sized tree, but they're easy enough to keep small. And if you have mulch under the tree, they usually don't bruise when they fall, except maybe right at the tip, when the tip hits. Here's some more of the Pimseng Moon, fully colored up. More Glen. These are Carrie, the first of the famous varieties produced by the Zill family, named after Ms. Carrie Zill, who was the grandma of the Zill family. The fruit is very thin-skinned, often does not color up very much. You have to have a good eye to see it, to get it before it falls. And that is important because the skin is so thin and the flesh is so entirely fiber-free and soft that it bruises even if it only falls 6 or 10 inches when it's ripe. If it falls when it's still green like this, that's all right. Very rich flavor, much preferred for making ice cream and other cooked goods because the flavor is strong enough to still be noticeable as a mango flavor after cooking or freezing. Certainly don't get the idea that it's not good fresh. It is one of the most sought after mangoes to eat fresh. It is, however, so powerfully flavored that some people are set back by it. But it's one of our most sought after mangoes by connoisseurs. These are some more Florigon fully colored up. These are Hayden. Hayden was the first famous variety to originate in Florida from a mulgoba that someone got grafted from India and planted by a turpentine tree. And when they planted mulgoba seeds hoping to get something like mulgoba, they got Hayden, which turned out was much better for Florida. Mulgoba gets absolutely huge but doesn't fruit very much, whereas the Hayden took on much of the fruitful characteristic of the turpentine. It also took the fiber of the turpentine. Not as fibrous as turpentine, but it's quite stringy. In fact, the word stringy is the name of turpentines in Jamaica. And turpentines are much appreciated for flavor, not for texture. People who know how to eat turpentines will bruise them while they're whole and then bite a little hole in the end and squeeze the juice out and leave all the fiber still sticking to the seed. That's the way to eat turpentine. Now, Hayden is not that fibrous that you have to do that with. People do normally cut them with a knife and eat all the pulp and fiber. Hayden tends to produce very heavily one year and then rest the next year, or produce just a few. Hayden is one of the more beautiful fruits on earth when it's clean, but it is very susceptible to anthracnose, which can spoil the whole fruit and certainly makes many of them ugly. And the trees are hard to keep small, they get huge, and are therefore hard to pick.
What about my favorite ones here?
Yes, the Popukalai. Actually,
That's a lemon meringue. No, I probably put that there.
Yeah, the Popukalai has a Florida nickname of lemon meringue, but it is an old named variety from Burma, and the name is Popukalai. And this is what they look like when they're fully colored up. The sap, when you first pick the fruit, does smell like lemon meringue pie, and that's where the name comes from. When you eat the pulp, however, you'll get a little bit of a lemony flavor, but it doesn't really taste like lemon meringue pie. It tastes like a top-rate mango. This is one of our most sought-after mangoes. Almost all our customers like the Popukalai. By the way, the Popukalai was introduced to Florida by Mr. Maurice Kong, longtime president of the Miami Rare Fruit Council.
Wonderful.
And let's talk about the Rosa, and then I guess that's it for today. The Rosa is from Brazil. It's not named after a Ms. Rose. It's named because rosa in Portuguese means pink colored, rose colored. And like the Hayden, the Rosa is one of the more beautiful fruits anywhere when it's clean, but it, like the Hayden, is extremely susceptible to anthracnose on the fruit skin. Not on the blossoms. The tree is quite resistant to anthracnose and powdery mildew on the blossoms, and it is a consistent, heavy producer that's about the earliest mango you can find anywhere. It's a very early mango. This one's not a Rosa. The Rosa is quite fibrous, even more fibrous than the Hayden. The skin of the Rosa is very strong tasting resinous flavor, which I really like. I eat all the skin that isn't the anthracnose spots.
So you eat the skin on those?
On the Rosa, yes. Most mangoes have unpalatable skins, but Rosa has a very tasty skin to me because I like resinous flavors.
Wonderful. How many different varieties do you have here?
Ms. Chris Wenzel has about 50 varieties producing here on the place, mango varieties. There are several hundred in Florida and several thousand mango varieties in the world. This is another variety. It actually was patented years ago. The patent has now run out on it. It's called the Duncan. It has a distinctive flavor. Some of our customers only want Duncan unless there aren't any Duncan, and then they'll get something else. And other of our customers don't look for it at all. So it's a flavor that some people really go after and others don't notice a lot. It is extremely disease resistant and highly productive every year, and good texture.
Wonderful.
So that's Duncan.
How early and how late does the mango season start and end?
Well, it really depends on the weather. This has been an early year because we had a warm winter. Our mangoes started in the end of March or first weekend of April. But the selection gets better all the time, and now we're really getting a lot of great mangoes available, and they'll be strong through sometime in August, and we'll have a few going sometimes into September.
And your hours are posted on your blog. They're different each day, right?
Yeah, we're always open Saturday morning. We're open for several days during the week. Definitely Monday, Wednesday, and Thursdays, and there'll be a couple hours each day. And we're still working on what hours work out best for most of our customers, and so hopefully that will be set in the next week or so and for the rest of the season.
Wonderful. Now, what's your favorite mango?
It depends on what's ripe.
Okay.
And it also depends on what you're using it for. I have, if I had one favorite mango, I'd probably just grow one variety. But there's so much range of flavors and textures and uses of mangoes that there's a reason to have every one of the 50 varieties.
And you don't just have mangoes here, you have various other tropical fruits as well, right?
Yeah, it's probably 90% mangoes, but then we grow things like jaboticaba, black sapote, mamey sapote, sugar apples, atamoya, carambola, kaimito, sapodilla, and tamarind, and
Basically, you
jackfruit.
have and jackfruit. So basically, you have a raw food is paradise here.
Yeah, I hope
Yes,
so.
yes, you absolutely do, and I want to recommend everyone to come on out here when you're in Florida, South Florida. You definitely got to come here and check it out. And thank you so much. Get to your website. Give us your blog again.
Delray Mango, DELRAY Mango, MANGO .blogspot.com.
Wonderful. Okay, now.
Actually, I put these small, these are dwarf mango trees right here. I trim them every year to make them extra dwarf, but people often say they don't have room for a fruit tree or whatever, and you know, it just takes up a real small area, and they always produce fruit.
So how many mangoes would you say one of these small dwarf trees would get?
Easily like 20.
20.
Yeah.
And do you call them dwarf trees because you keep them small, or just because they're actually a breed that's a dwarf?
Yeah, there are about 4 varieties that are dwarf, and these are alternating Cogg's-Hall and Neelam, and they're just good all-around mangoes for dwarf.
How many varieties do you have here?
We have over 50.
Great.
It always changes, always planting new stuff and taking out stuff that we don't, and grafting things over if we don't like it. This is, I don't think there's any fruit on it now, but these 2 plants are jaboticaba. Oh, yay, there is. This is cool.
Jaboticaba tree, okay. Look at that, they grow right out of the branch, everybody. These are like the most delicious grapes you've ever had. Almost similar to muscadine grapes, but even better. And look at that. Native to Brazil, I think, right?
Right, and very high in antioxidants. There's people who come just for this fruit. It's a low quad. Sapodilla.
All right, there's a sapodilla tree. You know what variety that is?
Alano.
Alano? I just got a brown sugar.
Yep, brown sugar's a little bit grittier.
I like that, yeah.
This is a smoother fruit, and I've got some varieties that haven't really started producing yet that have very large fruit, newer varieties. Let's see if I can find the right fruit for this. This is kaimito, or star apple. Oh,
Okay.
That's
Kaimito.
yeah, so that's that. And it's it starts in February or March, and tastes sort of like a melon, but it's much softer. Tamarind.
Tamarind tree here. Okay. Is it sweet tamarind or non-sweet?
Well, it's sort of a they have, this is a little bit younger than I usually eat them, but the name tamarind is actually means like date from India. It's not related to the date, but the fruit itself is very similar to a date. I don't know if you want to try
Absolutely.
that, but it's nice. One of the dwarf varieties that I have up front, but it's really a nice fruit.
What variety is this?
Dwarf Hawaiian. Has a little coconut flavor to it.
I don't know, but do you have any up front?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll get one. I'm going to write on it with the marker too.
Let me grab one here.
Dwarf Hawaiian.
Yeah.
Tastes like a coconut. It's a mango.
Yeah, mango, coconut together. This is, unfortunately doesn't produce a lot, but that's a Ryan.
Ryan, okay.
And this one is Tommy Atkins. And what?
Go with these.
Those are Namdok Mai?
Namdok Mai, we've had these. These go throughout the season, I believe.
It's, it'll go for at least another month, probably a month and a half.
So these are all leachate trees here.
Right.
Nice.
Brewster and Mauritius.
Here's the jackfruit tree, and wow, look at that. How
We've already harvested one.
how much do you think that one weighs? That's a big one.
That'll end up being probably 35 pounds or something like that.
Wow, look at that.
So
Nice.
Yeah, and then yeah, I've got another one this side, but
Nature's wealth, good for your health. This is the Raw Life Health Show. Raw Life, brighten up your life.